With everything we've seen from Disney Lucasfilm over the past decade, with the destruction of Star Wars, people weren't exactly excited about the prospect of yet another Indiana Jones movie, especially following the controversial reception for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. When you add on top of that George Lucas is not involved in this in any way, shape, or form. And then Steven Spielberg, who was supposed to be attached to this project years ago, just decided, you know what, I'm done, I'm backing out. I don't want anything to do with this hot mess. It really sends up a lot of red flags because it looks like it's just yet another IP that Disney's going to absolutely bastardize and destroy. And now here we are, several months away from the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, terrible name by the way, and they've revealed the full budget for this film. And this makes it look like it's going to be even more of a total disaster for Disney. Disney reveals Indiana Jones 5's eye-watering budget. The Disney company reveals the budget for the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and it's a lot higher than expected. Now, when you go back and we look at Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, this was back in 2008. How is this 15 years since this was released? I don't think this is a great movie by any stretch. I think it maybe gets a little bit too much hate, but there's a lot of deserved criticism for this movie. Left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and a lot of people didn't want yet another Indiana Jones movie. But when you look at this budget, $185 million, that's a pretty big production budget, but it did make $800 million almost at the global box office. Certainly a film that made money, didn't flop or anything like that. This movie that's about to come out in several months, nearly $300 million budget. It's one of the most expensive films ever made. We're talking about the top 10, more than The Force Awakens, more than The Last Jedi, more than Rise of Skywalker, more than Solo, a Star Wars story. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny looks like it might be another financial failure for Disney, because with this budget, that means that this movie's going to have to make somewhere around the range of $750, $800, maybe even $900 million, depending on what they spend on marketing. That is a very tall task, especially when there's so much bad vibes around Lucasfilm, around Disney, and of course, around a fifth Indiana Jones movie. In the announcement, according to Forbes, Disney revealed that it sanctioned nearly $300 million for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, $294.7 million to be exact, making it by far the most expensive film in the series and even one of the most expensive films of all time. The most recent film was released in 2008, had a budget of $185 million. Now, this goes right in line with everything we've seen from Disney. When you look at the ballooning budgets for Marvel, when you look at the fact that Wakanda Forever, Thor Love and Thunder, these are $250 million budget films. And Indiana Jones 5 has been in production for a really long time. It was in production hell. They've had a multitude of different writers. It's been rewritten many times. They had to delay a bunch of filming. And of course, it's going to be heavy CGI because it's not like Harrison Ford can do really any of the things they probably want him to do. We know that there's going to be a younger version of Harrison Ford in it with the de-aging technology, all that stuff. This budget is massive. So you are now having to bet that this movie makes, we'll just say around $800 million. That's kind of conservative, right? We'll say it needs to make $800 million. It needs to do better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did 15 years ago for this movie to even sniff, to start thinking about sniffing a profit. With everything we've seen from Disney, with everything we've seen from Lucasfilm, who buys that that's going to happen? I don't think that that's a bet that I would make if I were Disney. I don't think I would bet nearly $300 million, put that into this project, because quite frankly, I'm just not convinced that it's going to be able to do that. I don't think it has that type of energy. I don't think this fifth Indiana Jones movie, I don't think people want it, especially people don't want it with no involvement from George Lucas, with Steven Spielberg stepping off the project. And when you get people like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, a very unlikable human being, involved in this entire thing. With all this negative energy surrounding it, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny could turn out to be just the most recent flop in a series of financial failures from Disney. Because now you have a movie that, even if it makes $700 million at the box office, isn't even sniffing a profit. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. The massive, huge, incredibly large budget for Indiana Jones 5. Here you go, Kathleen Kennedy. This is likely your swan song, likely the reason you've stuck around for this long, and it looks like it too will be a failure. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.